Welcome back to Talk Tuesday. As you guys can see, I've got two of our winners from last year's character awards here with us. They're here to review with me because they won the award in 6th grade and 7th grade last year for optimism. Just a quick review on optimism. Optimism is a mindset. It's the way that you look at things and the way you think about things, either when something negative happens to you or even when positive things happen to you. Optimism is something that you want to try and internalize and apply to your life all the time. The big thing to understand with optimism and all of the other 6 character traits is that you have the choice to choose your attitude. It is your decision whether or not you take something well or take something badly. For example, this weekend I was out mountain bike riding. I was in a great mood, cruising, hit a jump. When I landed it, kind of tailed off a little bit and I went off into a tree. Smacked my arm and hand pretty good. Still swollen. I have to take off my wedding ring and everything. It's still swollen, but it's doing okay. The point is, the moment that it happened, I had a choice. I could either become incredibly upset and downtrodden and just pick up my bike and throw it, or I can go, man, glad I didn't break my face. Have a drink of water, get back on my bike. I chose the second route, obviously, and kept going with my ride. Had about 5 more miles to go, no problem. It was really fun. But it's the optimistic mindset that things are okay even when something tough happens to you. That's how you know you've got that positive mindset, that optimistic outlook on life. Well, our 2 winners here, this is Renee Ortiz and Abigail Steed. I want to thank them very much. I know it's not easy getting in front of the camera so that your entire school can see what you say. But what I've done is I've put together some scenarios. Some of these are things that can happen to you here, or they may happen to you at home. But these are things that generally could happen to students your age. And let's hear what their optimistic mindset has in mind for each of these. So Allison, we'll start with you if that's all right. The first one, on your way to school, you're going to be on time. You have no chance of being late. And then all of a sudden the parents have a flat tire and you know you're going to be at least 30 minutes late for school.
Okay, so I hate to be late. I hate it so much. I can barely stand it. But because I know I couldn't have stopped it from happening, there was nothing I could do, I would have looked on the positive side. Yes, the tire can be fixed. There's always another day. You can still go the next day. You can still go to school the next day. You can still go back that day. Yes, it happens, and it happens to everyone at one point or another. So what can you really do about it?
Yeah, hey, at least the car didn't go swerving off the road and wreck, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Lucky nothing bad happened in that you didn't get into a car crash because the person slammed in behind you.
Sure.
The best thing that could happen is, of course, the tire wouldn't have, I can't speak.
Wouldn't have popped?
Yeah.
Yeah. No big deal. Let's go on to a second one. Renee, this one, we'll throw this one out at you. You've been studying and working really hard on a test, and then you get the results back and you found out that you earned only a 60 on it. What does that do? What does an optimist like yourself do in that type of situation? What are you thinking?
Well, I would just see what I missed and then go over the test, and then I would go back and probably retake it and see what I get there.
Yeah, there's some optimistic idea right there. At least we get to have that retest if it's necessary, right? That's good. Let's throw this fourth one out at you, Allison. I just did it, didn't I? Abigail.
You've done it twice now.
I've done it twice now. Abigail. You go to a pool party and you dive in. Woohoo, love a pool party. Uh-oh. Phone's in your pocket when you dove in.
Oh, okay. Now that's a really tough one because I know a lot of kids in middle school now, we are attached to our phones. We use them for everything. So what I would do is if I lost my phone and I had no other way to get another one, because some people aren't fortunate enough, like myself, to get another one in 2 days. So I would look on the bright side. There's computers I can use at school. There's other people's phones. My mom has a phone. My dad has a phone. My sister has a phone. Everyone who I'm with has a phone that I can use if I need to call someone. And if I need to do research, there are many other ways. I mean, there's the library, which we're in. And, I mean, just there are so many other things that I can do just to make up for a phone. So I can then save my money or work with my parents or, allowance to get a new phone when I can. I mean, there's other resources I can use.
Sure. It sounds like if you had an emergency, you could use the phone of one of your friends anyway. Mm-hmm. It sounds like mostly you're going to be missing out on that game time, Snapchat, and all that mess too.
Pretty much.
Okay. Well, you could do without that for a little while. I mean, I was raised without a phone. I got through okay. All right. Let's jump back over to you, Renee. Let's say, you come back from football practice. You'd forgotten to put your backpack in your locker, and lo and behold, it's disappeared. You lost your backpack in the locker room at football. What do you think is going to be your mindset in that situation?
Well, I guess that, you have all your stuff in there for school, but you can always go to, like, the lost and found to see if they picked it up or if they found it somewhere.
But what if you can't find it and you have to start all fresh?
Then you just get all the new supplies and then see what you missed and see what you got to make up for what was in your backpack and what they took.
Would you say that you're the kind of person that would be okay with going to one of your teachers and saying, hey, Miss Steed, or hey, Miss D. Taylor, my backpack disappeared out of the locker room. Can you help me out getting these things together?
Yeah.
And what do you think the teacher would say to you?
More than likely, yes. But
yeah. I don't think there are very many teachers in this building who would say, oh, you lost it? Oh, well, forget you. I don't think there's that going on in our building, is there? This one's a little bit more serious, so I'm going to ask both of you guys to answer this because I think it does happen to some of our middle school kids. And we'll start with you, Abigail. What would you do if you didn't get along with one of your teachers?
That's a tough one. I love to chat with teachers. I like to know about them. I like to talk to them. I like to see how they're doing. And if I did not get along with one, I would be very disappointed. But I've had that happen in the past, and I've gone through it, and I think I'm doing pretty well right now. What I did was I went and I talked to them, and I was like, here, I'm this and this and this. I would kind of like this, kind of like that. And we kind of just talked kind of through it, and then I was nice to them. I did my work. I got through it. I didn't talk out of turn. Well, okay, I did occasionally, but it was always for a good reason. I was not a very bad student. I tried the best I could, and it worked out fine. I mean, yes, there were some points that we didn't get along, and I was kind of mad, and I would go home and I'm like, Mom, I don't know what to do. But I got through it, and I think if you just persevere and you try your best, then it will be okay.
So what I'm hearing you say is even if you didn't get along with a teacher, you didn't quit. You still did what was necessary for the class because really the knowledge is what you're trying to get anyway. It's not that best friend atmosphere with a teacher, right? Renee, how about you? Have you ever found yourself in a situation where, oh, Lord, I can't stand being in this teacher's class?
No.
You've been lucky so far, huh?
Pretty much, yeah.
Have you got any tips or ideas for students that might be having difficulty?
I guess try to, work in class and not talk as much or get on their nerves and just do your best and try to get on their good side.
It is only 50 minutes, right? Yeah. It's not like you're there all day like a fifth grader has to be. Well, I want to thank you guys both for coming and joining us for our optimism talk. Students, you have a choice. It is your choice to be optimistic. When something difficult is in front of you, whether it's a bad situation, a one-time event that's bad, like me wrecking my bike, no matter what it is, if you go into it with the right attitude, you can find the positive, and you can also find the right attitude to get through it. Doesn't matter what that situation is. I want to thank again Abigail and Renee for joining us for our optimism talk. Stop them in the hallway or stop them at lunch if you want to tease them a little bit about what they were saying. There's nothing wrong with that either. They have a great mindset for it. Thank you, students. We'll see you next week. Have a great one.